I get lots of questions about macros. This is always a popular topic in my classes. A macro is a recording of keystrokes that you want to play back at another time, something you could apply to a button and use over and over again. In this case, I'm showing you some sample data as if I had downloaded it from a database and I want to do a bunch of formattings. If you do all this every single week, you know what I'm talking about. You repeat the same steps over and over. So let's go ahead and first make sure you have the Developer tab to do this. If you don't see Developer tab, go File Options. And in here, you will see Customize Ribbon. Developer tab comes loaded. You just have to click it to turn on the check mark, and then you are good to go. Now, from that Developer tab, that's where our macro features are. So we are going to kick this off by clicking Record Macro. For the folks my age out there, this is like hitting play and record on the old cassette player, and when you are done with it, you hit stop. So we are first starting with a macro name. Now you can't use spaces, you cannot use special characters, you cannot use a cell name as a macro name. That will just be confusing. You can use shortcut keys. I usually don't set shortcut keys. If you want one, you just do the shortcut key there and it adds in the setup that you do. Now, I usually either record this in one workbook or I'm using it all the time in the same workbook. In this case, I want to record it in the personal macro workbook. That means it's available in all my Excel files. And make yourself a note if you need to. If you come in and want to look at it 3 months from now and don't remember what you did, you can also always have a little description for yourself. As soon as I hit OK, I'm in record mode. So let's go ahead and work on this data. So from that first cell, I'm going to go ahead and Control Home just to make sure I'm jumped up there when I start this. And then I will do Control Shift down arrow to capture everything in that column. These are actually dates, and they're just formatted as the serial number. I need to go in and change them to the short date. Oh boy, I need more space. So right away, I'm going to adjust the width of that column, making sure I'll have space in my new worksheets. And then here I want to break up the names, so you'll see me going in and inserting a column. Again, Control Shift down arrow. I'm selecting to the bottom of the list. When it finds a blank row, it stops. And I will go to the Data tab for this. They've got something called Text to Columns. And I'll walk through the wizard, delimited, next. It's breaking up with a space, and I can see here it's capturing it just perfectly. That is great, and finish. And then I will jump over to column D then, and I'll do again the Control Shift down arrow, back to the Home tab for formatting as currency. I don't want those decimal places, so I'll take them out here. And then why not go ahead and turn this into a table now? So Control Home, I'll jump up and select that first row and insert. And here I will do some column headings. And from anywhere in this table now, I can go ahead and format as table and pick the format that I like. Now, I've experimented with this a little bit. My table does have headers, but in my new, when I use this again, I may have to adjust the range that it fills to. So say OK here. There's my table looking good. I'm going to go ahead to the Developer tab and stop recording. You can also come down to the bottom on the status bar. There your macro has a record stop, and you can stop there. Okay, so now it is listed in my list of macros. I'll go out there, I'm all done. This is my third attempt at recording this. I kept messing it up today. So there I've got format my new data. That is the macro that I've just created. So I see that I've got it. And I'll save this file. Make sure I'm getting that. Now I can add this to my ribbon. I can go in and customize up here, more commands. This is what I usually like to do with macros. And I go into macros here, and that was called format new data. I'll add it over here, and I'll just let it have that indicator for right now. That's fine for me at the moment. And now I will open up another file. Let's see, I think I've got one open there. I've got the setup 2. You'll see my setup 2 has more rows to it, so I'll be testing it here to see how it works. Now you could go into the macro thing here, and run it, but I wanted to show you how I applied mine up to my ribbon. So I'm in the new file, and I'll go ahead and format new data. There you see it, and like I said, I was a little concerned about if it would adjust for my new data, and there I can drag it down and even include some additional rows if I need to. That's it. I've recorded a macro and applied it to another file. Good luck with those.